Garden Goddess here. I am currently in my house. We are not in the garden today. I just want to say thank you guys for rocking with me this past week. I had a lot of content I wanted to give you guys and put out. And so I appreciate all the comments, all the likes, all the shares, all of the great stuff. I realized I hadn't done a video just like telling you guys about me. I mean, you guys know I'm a gardener, you know that I love what I do, that I have 2 dogs, I bought a new house, all this great stuff, but I really wanted to give some backstory as to why I do what I do. So a few years ago, I was having a lot of health issues, right? So one of the big health issues that I was having was sleeping. I could sleep anywhere. Like if you gave me a pillow, I could go to sleep on the side of I-35 and be sound asleep. Like honestly, I would be at work and during lunch, I would go to sleep in my car and they would have to like knock on my door and be like, it's time for you to come back to work. This is my buddy Daryl. Okay, Daryl, get down. Get down, buddy. So we're right next to a window, and this is where we watch squirrels. So, a matter of fact, let me go let him outside, and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, so I could fall asleep anywhere. I could be on the side of the road. I mean, I can be anywhere. And my boss's wife was like, Tiff, like, what is going on? Like, you're young, you're healthy. Why can you not stay awake? And I was just always tired. I remember my stepdad at the time would be like, are you pregnant? You know, I don't have any kids, but are you pregnant? Why are you always so sleepy all the time? And it's just something that I always dealt with. Like before I went out, I would have to take naps and things of that nature. I also had really bad headaches. I would get migraines. I had bad headaches. Even when I was sleeping, sometimes I couldn't sleep all the way through the night. I had eczema on my skin, just all these things. And so the boss's wife was like, maybe you should have a sleep study. Maybe you have sleep apnea. Maybe you're not getting enough sleep. So I did that. I went and had a sleep study done, and it came back normal. It came back where I was waking up several times in the night. And she was like, well, so the sleep physician was like, let's test you for narcolepsy. I was like, no. Why would I have narcolepsy? Like, there's no, family history of that. Like I said, I'm young, I'm healthy, I stay active, things of that nature. And then, I went to the physician about the eczema and they just had a cream they wanted to give me. They couldn't tell me why as an adult I started having eczema. I was also having seasonal allergies as an adult. Just a lot of stuff. The migraines, physicians wanted to give me something to appease the symptoms, but nobody could actually tell me why I had these things going on with me. So I ended up doing some research. The biggest thing that was bothering me was the allergies. I mean, I was at a point where I was about to go to see an allergist. And so I was doing research on why people, different theories on why you can get allergies, later in life. And one of them we're talking about, an intolerance to dairy. I love dairy. I love cheese. And so I immediately cut dairy and gluten out of my diet at the same time. And immediately, not only did the headaches go away, my allergies cleared up, and my eczema started getting better. It was on my back. So I was like, okay, there's something to this. But the reality is I've had years of bad eating, years of all of this stuff in my system. And so I decided I wanted to do a cleanse. And so I looked up different cleanses, and then I was really reading about different organs in our body that we can cleanse. And I ran across a book. I love this book. But they go over a liver gallbladder cleanse that you do using a juice fast. And so I did that, and after I did that juice fast, I started doing a green juice every morning. And it changed my life. You're talking about energy levels being here. Like I was doing coffee, I was doing energy drinks, I was doing all of that. But I realized it was just the green juice. Like I needed that energy from the juice, and it changed my life, honestly. It sounds so simple nowadays when, health can be, you can go to Whole Foods and buy whatever you want, but at the time, this lifestyle that I was raised in, that I lived eating the cornbread and cabbage, and like this is what I grew up in the South. This was mind blowing. That all I had to do was change the way I was eating, and it directly affected my energy and directly affected these ailments that I had. So then I started looking into organic foods, and at the time when I got rid of the dairy and I got rid of the gluten, that left me with meat and potatoes, pretty much vegetables and meat. So I was still doing meat, but then I realized how much the juice was helping me. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me try to cut meat. Now, you cut meat, and there's a big portion of your diet that needs to be filled with vegetables and fruits. And then you start looking at organic foods and pesticides. And y'all, I love Whole Foods. I love Whole Foods. Like, that is like the place to be. But the reality is Whole Foods is expensive. And I never felt bad about spending the money until I realized I needed it for something else. I love that store, and I loved what it was doing for my body. But there were times that I just couldn't sustain eating that way. Like I couldn't keep eating that way because I needed to pay bills. So when I bought my first house, I immediately, like I had a rinky-dink yard, guys. I don't know if you remember from the other videos. It was like a 20 by 20 space that I maxed out. And I built a deck back there, and I was, gardening in pots on the deck. And I remember the first time, because I bought my house in fall, and then in spring it started to warm up a little bit. I'm back there with one of my coworkers. We're shoveling in the ground. Shout out to Trelisa. Hey, girl. We're digging in the ground, and I plant peas, and I plant tomatoes, and I plant something else. They all died. I ended up putting the peas behind the tomato. No, I planted okra. I put the peas behind the okra, and okra grows like a freaking weed, and it blocked all the sun from my peas. So I literally killed everything, but I was hooked. I was like, I can't keep spending this much money at Whole Foods. It doesn't make any sense. Like for a package of seeds is $2.50. So let's say I get a package of seeds of tomatoes, and it's $2.50, and I can make 20 plants from this $2.50 pack, and from each plant I can get 10 tomatoes. It just made it like the logic, like logically, and all the plants really all they need is soil, sun, and water. That's it. If you can figure out those three things, you can grow whatever you want. So I was hooked on that, and I was hooked on how it made me feel. Of course, the foods were organic and they were healthy, but also being out in my garden and connecting to earth. And so it's very humbling when you see what God can do with just the minimal, this little bitty seed, this little bitty rinky-dink seed, how it can grow into something amazing and something that feeds and provides for you. It just lets you know that like this is nothing for God. Like sometimes I shy away from asking him something. I forget how powerful and great he is. And so I shy away from asking for some of the things that I want. But then it's like he can provide and feed you think about the story where he fed the 5,000 with, the fish and the 5 fish and the loaves or whatever. And it's like he does that every day with these little bitty tomatoes. These little bitty tomato seeds, you stick them in the ground and it can feed a whole family, And so being out there every morning and being in nature and looking at how God provides not only for us, but he provides for the bugs in my garden bed and the birds and all that other stuff. It emotionally, I started feeling better. Like in my spirit, in my soul, I started feeling happy. I started feeling taken care of. I started feeling confident. Things that used to get me down and used to worry me didn't worry me as much because I would go out into my garden and realize, okay, like it's gonna be okay. Like God's taking care of all of this. Like you got this, God's got you. If God's got this bird and this little worm that's eating all your tomatoes, Well, I don't know if God really got the worm because I be killing those. But anyways, he was happy and he served a purpose. The birds ended up eating. I kill the worms or the hornworms and then I give them to the birds. So don't judge me. Anyways, so there's so many benefits that come with gardening, and of course the biggest one is being able to grow your own organic food, but then there's these little side benefits. And so I've just been hooked, and I love what I do. I've helped people start gardens. I encourage people to garden, and I actually have a really special treat. I'm tagging up with or tag teaming with one of my favorite YouTubers, and we're gonna help start him a garden soon. But I just really want to take the time to let you guys know that this isn't just something I do for fun. Like, this is something I'm passionate about. This is important to me, and I want to take you guys along the journey. Every time someone hears I'm a home gardener, they ask me all these questions, and most of the times I try to answer as thoroughly as possible, but I love having this YouTube channel so I can direct people like, hey, I do this, you can do it too, and if you have questions, then this is where you can go. And so I love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions or concerns, you can always follow me on Instagram. I'm constantly putting updates on my Instagram stories. I love answering questions. I love going to people's houses and helping people. And so anything you need from me, I'm here for you guys. I love you guys. Like and subscribe, all of that great stuff. And I will see you until next time.